the Madman! Welcome to the class star ratings for Shaman, Warlock, and Warrior. There are some really strong cards here. So if that gets you in the mood to pre-order these Uldum packs, you should use my affiliate link below so I get some of the profits. Let's start with the Shaman quest, Corrupt the Waters. This, I think, is the strongest quest. The reward is very strong, and it's not very difficult to play 6 Battlecry cards, and then your minions have a double Battlecry each time. Your lackey generators generate 2 lackeys, which generate 2 Battlecries apiece. That's a lot of value. So alongside Corrupt the Waters, Sandstorm Elemental, Evil Totem, and Weaponized Wasp. Sandstorm Elemental is a cute little guy. If you double the Battlecry on Sandstorm Elemental, you're dealing 2 damage to all enemy minions. A lot of good synergies here, and strong card to consider putting in the deck. But I think in general it's just a little bit too weak for what it does. I personally rated it a 2-star. Evil Totem is an incredible lackey generator. I actually think that the meta will evolve a little bit around Evil Totem in that you must have a way to deal with a 2 mana, 2 health minion on turn 2. If Evil Totem gets 2 lackeys, it is incredible value. Evil Totem is so good that it probably doesn't only see play in the quest. I think it might see play as well in Murloc Shaman, Control Shaman, other Shamans. So therefore, Evil Totem 5 stars. Weaponized Wasp also 5 stars. It just goes so well with lackeys. When your battle cries are doubled, Weaponized Wasp potentially does 6 damage for 3 mana. 3 mana, 3/3, Battlecry deal 3 damage is insane. Talking back about the quest, with 2 mana to activate double battle cries, and also with a, let's say, 2 goblin lackeys and a Weaponized Wasp, that's already 14 burst damage for 7 mana. That's incredible. I think that the Heart of the Vernal, this hero power, is going to beat out Control Warrior in terms of value generation. So I have an extremely high opinion of Corrupt the Waters. I think this is going to be a tier 1 deck. So Corrupt the Waters, 5 stars. The value is amazing, and don't even get me started about Barista Lynchin. Control Shaman is getting a few tools as well. Earthquake, and there's Plague of Murlocs. I think Earthquake in particular is big Control Shaman card. And yet, because I don't think Control Shaman is great, and I believe Earthquake is only good in that deck, or perhaps in some sort of stalling combo deck, which I don't think exists for Shaman, I'm going to have to give Earthquake 2 stars. You can argue, wait, that does exist with Hagatha the Witch, but I think that Battlecry Shaman is going to overtake Control Shaman as the go-to deck. I don't think Earthquake will fit into the Corrupt the Waters deck, but I'm going to admit that's a maybe. I basically feel like Earthquake and Plague of Murlocs is kind of similar. They want to deal with AoE boards, but Plague of Murlocs has the relevancy of the meta, in that Plague of Murlocs can deal with 2-4 giants at a time. So I'm going to give Plague of Murlocs 4 stars. I think it's going to be a very popular card that might just make it into decks as the solution. Then we've got the Totem package, which is Splitting Axe and Totemic Surge. At this point, I don't feel like a Totem deck works for Shaman. It doesn't have enough Totem support to beat out the other decks, I'd say. So Splitting Axe, I gotta give 1 star to, as well as Totemic Surge 1 star. Though I will give the big note that both Splitting Axe and Totemic Surge can have a huge surge back when totems matter. We've got some miscellaneous cards as well. Mogu Flesh Shaper is a card that could go down to 0 mana, and I could see it in a number of decks. 0 mana for a 3/4 rush is pretty good. 3 mana for a 3/4 rush is pretty good. So all that has to happen is there be 4 minions on the battlefield. That's not too hard to do. I'm not entirely sure just how good it is. It's one of those, you gotta play it in order to see. But I see very large potential in it. I'm gonna give him 3 stars. But I feel like this could easily be more. And then Vicina. Vicina is a great addition to the already strong Overlid Shaman deck. Imagine paying 1 mana less for Bloodlust and getting 8 stats with it, and having the potential to have Vicina actually stay on the board to Bloodlust the following turn as well. 5 stars Vicina. I will also say that I think that the Overload package is strong enough that the Corrupt the Waters deck will strongly consider the Overload package as its early form of defense. All in all, Shaman is getting incredible tools and an incredible new archetype Battlecry Shaman, Quest Shaman I think is very strong. Shaman isn't the only class getting the goodies. It's a new dawn for Warlock. The Warlock quest is drawing a bunch of cards, and then you get the quest reward of being able to draw cards that cost 0. What synergizes with Supreme Archaeology? Well, you could argue Plague of Flames fits there, Embalming might fit there, but let's talk about this quest. Where it really fits in is the Plot Twist Warlock. But in short, Plot Twist Warlock is astoundingly bad, and Supreme Archaeology, the payoff is not good enough to make that astoundingly bad deck good. So 1 star on Archaeology. Embalming is an interesting minion destruction tool for pretty cheap, 4 mana versus Siphon Soul 6. But all in all, it just seems like the drawback outweighs the 4 mana to kill a guy. So Embalming, 1 star. Plague of Flames has some potential in these control type decks as well. 4 mana, clear the board, 5 mana, clear the board. Could consider this in some sort of zoo deck in order to trade your inferior minions in for their big minions. Ultimately, I decided not to put Plague of Flames in my zoo deck. You could also run this into the Mechathune deck, but I don't really think that deck is going to be that strong either. But there are a lot of decks considering this card. I'm still going to give it 2 stars because I don't think any of those decks are going to be strong enough. While we're talking kind of control decks, let me throw an Expired Merchant in there as well. That's a lot of value. The problem is Control Warlock is not currently working. It just gets outvalued by many decks, such as the Quest Shaman deck, the Quest Druid deck, and Control Warrior. So why play Control Warlock? No real reason. So what this ends up being is a glorified loot hoarder. 1 star. And now, let's reveal the grand dawn of Zoo, which is the Lackey package. Sinister Deal, Evil Recruiter, Dark Pharaoh Tekon. Sinister Deal is amazing. 2 mana for a Lackey, maybe that's not too exciting. But what'll really excite you is when you see Evil Recruiter. That's 3 mana for a 7/7 worth of value because you destroy a Lackey worth a 1/1. You get this out on turn 3. What a backbreaker, having to deal with 8/8 in stats. In a zoo deck, nonetheless, I think the Lackey package is extremely powerful. Sinister Deal looks a lot stronger because of Evil Recruiter. Sinister Deal 5 stars, Evil Recruiter 5 stars. Dark Pharaoh Tekon would have probably gotten the 5-star treatment if Evil Recruiter were not in this set. But sadly it is, and Evil Recruiter is so much better of a Lackey lover than Tekon. They have a lot of anti-synergy together, because if your Lackeys are 4/4, it makes your Evil Recruiter a lot worse. So Dark Pharaoh Tekon, having tried it a bit, seems too slow for a zoo. Could see some play in some sort of Lackey Warlock that isn't just Lackey Zoo, but seems slow to me, and seems like it would get outvalued by the other value decks. So I'm going to give Tekon a 2 star. And then we have the other package that is very strong for Zoo. We have the self-damage package with Neferset Thrasher, Diseased Vulture, and Rift Cleaver. Neferset Thrasher is absolutely insane. This is a 3 mana 4/5, and yes, it does have a drawback. But here's the beauty of it. Maybe that's not a drawback. Maybe that's a benefit. Because Diseased Vulture is a 4 mana 3/5 which curves right after Neferset Thrasher. So the combo is so straightforward. You'd play Neferset Thrasher on turn 3. It's difficult to remove since it has 5 health and 4 attack. You follow it up with Diseased Vulture and you immediately attack with Thrasher. And bam, your Diseased Vulture is already bringing in a 3/5 plus a 3 cost minion. That's a 6/8 for 4 mana. So that is insane. Neferset Thrasher 5 stars. Diseased Vulture 5 stars. There are multiple ways to summon 3 cost minions of Diseased Vulture, but one of the ways is to just use the hero power, so it's way better than Inspire. Neferset Thrasher is so wonderful that it makes me want to play Nether Soul Buster, and even potentially Duskbat. Rift Cleaver is very powerful. Compare with Vilespine Slayer, which so many decks would have wanted to play. Rift Cleaver, 5 more stats and 1 more health. Like, that's such a good trade-off. All you have to do is take some health damage. The main problem I have, though, is that when you're already slotting in the Lackey package and the self-damage package, it is very hard to put in the Rift Cleaver as well. Rift Cleaver also seems like it would be really strong in Control Warlock, but Control Warlock doesn't really exist. I'm gonna give Rift Cleaver a 2 star, which I feel like is sad given how powerful I think Rift Cleaver is, but you can only put so many self-damage cards into your deck as well. So it's a dawn for a bright new Zoo in Warlock, and also For you crazy people out there, I'm going to say this. Zoo looks like it has so many strong cards in it. If you feel really ambitious, there just might be a singleton Zoo deck out there. If you think Zephyrus is that good, I think that's a stretch, but just presenting it as an option and highlighting how good the Warlock cards are. Warrior is also getting some very strong cards. Let's start with their quest. Hack the System. This, I would say, is not one of their stronger cards. Main reason being Dr. Boom Mad Genius exists, so not really a huge payoff to getting this quest reward instead. It is a card you should look into when Dr. Boom Mad Genius rotates out though. So this card rewards attacking with weapons, so let's show off the warrior weapon in this set, Live Wire Lance. That is a very powerful card. I want to put this card in my decks, but I have a hard time putting into Control Warrior because it is so good to run Weapons Project in Harrison Jones. But where this could fit is Bomb Warrior. You're only running Wrench Caliber, so Live Wire Lance looks like a generally good card to put there. So, Hack the System, 1 star. Live Wire Lance, 4 stars. Armored Goon is also part of the Hack the System warrior type of cards. It's power creeping Boulder Fist Ogre, certainly, and I actually think that it's quite solid. Mega combo, have Soul Thrace equipped, play Armored Goon, gain 20 armor. Wow. Sadly, I still don't see this fitting into any warrior right now, but I'm going to have to say it's closer than you think it is. Still 1 star. So let's talk about another deck Live Wire Lance could fit into. That would be Taunt Warrior. Taunt Warrior is getting a lot of support. Into the Fray, Frightened Flunky, Armageddillo, as well as Tomb Warden. And that's not all. There's also some neutral cards that are supporting this taunt package as well. The most prominent of which is Faceless Lurker and Infested Goblin. By nature, Taunt Warrior decks are not really about the tempo, they're more about defense. You have to directly compare the taunt cards with the currently existing mech cards and rush cards that Control Warrior is using to shore up its early game. I gotta say that I'm not seeing putting the taunt package in instead of the rush package or instead of the mech package. It's very reliant on drawing the Into the Fray or Armageddillo, and that's a little flimsy. If you wanted to get fat stats worth of value, it seems like the Quest Druid is better at doing that. So therefore, looks good, but I think there's better. Into the Fray, 1 star. Armageddillo, 1 star. Tomb Warden, 1 star. By the way, it's a mech, so you're going to find this with Dr. Boom Mad Genius all the time though. Frightened Flunky, this one, 5 stars. I think Frightened Flunky is a strong enough card that it will see play in just general warrior. It is Stonehill Defender, except 1 less mana. That's incredible given how powerful Stonehill Defender was. So let's talk Control Warrior. There's some tools that Control Warrior, a very strong deck, is getting and is also loving. There's Restless Mummy, and there's Plague of Wrath. Restless Mummy is absolutely incredible. I think it is the best reborn card in the set. It is individually strong, but that's not all. You can actually tutor for Restless Mummy with Town Crier, and that's what makes Restless Mummy especially insane. Boy, is Town Crier going to miss a lot less often if you also put in 2 Restless Mummy. Plague of Wrath is another mass AoE card for Warrior. You gotta ask yourself, do you need it when you have Brawl already? And I think the answer is you don't need it. I'm gonna give this a 3 star just because sometimes maybe you want 1 copy of it. The card that it might replace is actually Execute, because it is mass Execute. And then that leads us to the random card that doesn't really fit any archetype, Bloodsworn Mercenary. But wait, it's not just any random card. This random card has the chance to change everything. That is such a strong effect. The Battlecry is arguably worth 5 mana. By the way, it's on a 3 mana 3/3. So let's just start off with you Inner Rage, the Leroy Jenkins. You Bloodsworn Mercenary, the Leroy Jenkins. That's 16 burst damage for 8 mana. That's a lot of damage. But what if you add in Rampage? Then you can Rampage and then you can Inner Rage it again. Both copies of Leroy Jenkins are charging in for 13 damage there. That's 26 damage. Bloodsworn Mercenary is also extremely good with Restless Mummy, because Restless Mummy comes back reborn damaged. Bloodsworn Mercenary has a decent chance of being able to start a new deck archetype of Tempo Warrior. Given that it's the only card, well, alongside Live Warrior Lance and Frightened Flunky, but it is the only card that really pushes the archetype, I have to give Bloodsworn Mercenary only a 4-star, even though I think it is one of the strongest cards in the set. It is high praise to give a card that does not fit into a current archetype 4 stars, by the way. I'm saying that this card has the potential to herald in Tempo Warrior as a tier 2 deck, when Tempo Warrior is nowhere on the radar right now. The Warrior gets a lot of generally good cards, with the potential for a new archetype. 4-2, if Taunt Warrior takes off. So, those are some really strong cards for our villains. Will the heroes, which this set is named after, actually have better decks than the villains? Huh, well, we'll see.
Out of the hall of explorers, and up from the dusty tomb, they grab their whips and fedoras. These legends of the past know exactly